So welcome. We have a wonderful group here. So I have to tell you a story real quick. Last year at the AHSRA conference, Safari and I were at the cafeteria Friday evening, and then this couple comes up, and there was like only 4 of us in the cafeteria on Friday evening. And so I think he wants to see the audience. Okay. Okay.
It's what way up there.
Put it up here.
There you go.
Put it up here.
There.
How about that? So we were at the cafeteria, and so Sergo and his lovely wife come and sit with us because they know Safari from university in the Philippines. And so anyways, we're talking, and he's like, oh, I work with mission trips. I said, I have a research study. I said, let's collaborate. He's like, what? Okay. And so anyways, we've kind of connected, and then I reached out to Julie, and now Gracelyn is able to be here because Julie is living this. She is actually on a mission trip right now. So she is unable to be here. So she sent Gracelyn, her colleague. And then Pavel, Sergo's, he's like, well, I have this friend and he does this too. Can you join? I'm like, absolutely. The more the merrier. So that's how we grew. Our group grew. Here, come here. I'll let you touch the screen. All right. So we have no conflict of interest, but we did receive some funds in the past by Polly's Outreach Ministries, which is my precious mother.
Okay, I would like to start with the background of the study. Every mission trip goes back to the roots to Jesus' example of sending his disciples on a mission, the first mission trip, to go and share his love and grace and to heal people in the communities. As you know, there are many pros and cons, as always, for any endeavor. Short mission trips not included. We call them short-term missions, STMs. There are many valuable experiences gained in the college years, and one of them is going on a mission trip. This is really beneficial, and it's often, or the mission trips are often associated with personal and spiritual growth and transformation. In fact, many studies report that finding. Well, majority of missionaries and volunteers still coming from the West to the rest, as they say, looking for a spiritual renewal and experience. Our children, our youth, they want to experience the mission field firsthand. So they plan and they go to the mission field. Some studies link short-term missions to a Christian pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is it's engaging with some places that will change you from within. There will be some internal change, a spiritual journey through a geographical journey. Studies report the increase in the volunteers' cultural awareness, personal development, spiritual growth, and solidified religious beliefs. Short-term missions are so popular that even the political organization developed special guidelines, like 7 standards of excellence in short-term missions, which is God-centeredness, empowering partnership, mutual design, comprehensive administration, qualified leadership, appropriate training, thorough follow-through. So you will see this reflected in our report later, but that's kind of a backbone of every short-term mission trip. Well, as I already mentioned, not all mission trips have positive outcomes, and there are some reported limitations and challenges. And especially when there is no follow-up after we finish, especially in medical area. However, overall mission trips helping people in impoverished areas and have a positive effect on young people. And many studies report that positive effect. So the purpose of this study, in fact, to explore attendees' perceptions of their lived experiences while participating in a mission trip, with the goal of seeing them again on another mission trip. So that's the beginning and the background of the study.
So the purpose of the study is the lived experiences and the methods. So a research design, it's a mixed method, a phenomenological research design, and with quantitative and qualitative survey questions. And I'm going to have to slide over. We did quantitative and qualitative data analysis. Yours, anyone that has SAU is yours. So there were actually 12. Sorry, not yet. Yeah, so the sample for this study was the 12 students that went on the Haiti mission trip back a few years ago. Here we go. So then you're going to read that.
That's right. I don't think my statistics are over. I'll read them. Yeah,
It's okay, you can.
all good. Yep. And so I'd like to give a brief snapshot of student missionary participation from the past school year 2025 to 2026 at Southern Adventist University, and use it as a starting point to think about both the numbers and the lived experiences behind them. I'll begin with short-term student missions. Over the past year, 103 students participated in short-term mission trips. These students served across 8 trips in 6 different countries. Of those participants, 60 were female and 43 were male. And they were supported by 11 faculty or staff leaders. Most of these short-term trips involved service-oriented activities like assisting with medical clinics, dental care, and construction support in local communities. These projects combine practical service with cross-cultural engagement and team-based learning experiences. So from a quantitative perspective, these numbers provide a basic picture of participation, gender distribution, the leadership involvement, and geographic reach. They help us identify the patterns in how short-term mission programs are structured and experienced at scale. But at the same time, the statistics can also raise important qualitative questions. What motivates students to participate in short-term missions? How do they describe the impact of these relatively short but immersive experiences? How do the relationships within the team, including how they interact with their faculty or staff leaders, as well as their peers, shape the students' reflections, identity formation, and then their sense of purpose? Students who return from both the short-term and long-term mission programs are given surveys to reflect on their experiences and the impact of their assignment. For the short-term participants specifically, part of our survey attempts to measure their perceived faith development by asking the students to reflect on their spiritual perspective both before and after their short-term experience. Students begin by answering which of these statements best describe them before the trip, ranging from "I did not believe in Christ and I am not interested in exploring what it means to be a Christian," to "I had an intimate relationship with Jesus that motivated me to share him with others through ministry, service, or missions." Then students are asked to select from a parallel set of those 5 points of answering options to describe themselves as a result after the trip experience. And again, it ranges from little or no belief in Christ to a deeply personal, intimate faith that will motivate them to serve, minister, and participate in missions.
We do not have that solid report on Andrews University, but it is several trips every year. And right now, the big group of Andrews University students and the faculty, right now they're in the Amazon River on a ship, on a boat, going from place to place to do missions. So that's exactly happening right now.
Yeah, when it comes to Adventist frontier missions, we have on average 8 to 10 SMs and STMs altogether going to mission trips. By the way, it is worth to mention that when we say short term, at AFM, we mean at least 1 full year. And short-termers can stay for 1 more year and no longer. If they want to stay longer, then they have to switch to so-called career missionaries, CM. So short-termers, in our mind, is 1 full year.
Now we go to findings. And the first part we'd like to report is we asked the participants about how many mission trips have you been on, and the majority, 70%, thank you, 70% have been on the mission trip just once, and 10% haven't been at all. That was their first mission trip, and 20% have been on the mission trips twice. So it's not like they're going every year. Sometimes. The second report is how likely are you to go on another mission trip? This is important report. We see that half of our participants, 50%, they are very likely to go to another mission trip, and 25% are not sure. So they're kind of not decided yet. And only 16% they say not likely, they are not going, and 8% fairly likely. So altogether, we may say more than 80% either are going or not yet decided, but at least they are not negative, and the negative only about 70%. Now we have qualitative part.
Yeah, it is interesting to look at this study through the lens of qualitative researchers, because as Dr. Safari often mentions, we can't let the experiences and the real stories die in numbers. No offense to quantitative researchers, by the way. So the question is, when student missionaries and short-termers go to these short mission trips, usually this is their first ever experience, which is cross-cultural experience and mission experience in general. And when we ask them what has been your favorite part, they mention like 4 things. And if I were to ask you, is there any one word that you could put all these 4 experiences in one word? Playing with orphans, serving the community, educating the community, and serving the clinic. And that one word would be meaningful ministry. Something meaningful. So every time we have a chance to send student missionaries and short-termers, it is highly important for them to have the experience with real people, not just developmental projects. So we can send boys and girls for construction purposes, and this is also important. But mingling with real people and connecting with communities that they have never seen before is more valuable for their future commitments. The next slide tells you what's your second favorite part, which is pretty close to the first one. And while you are reading, because you are reading faster than I talk, let me tell you a brief story from AFM missionary experience. This is, I'm speaking about the young single lady. She started as short-termer, but she decided to switch to career missionary. I'm not allowed to mention the place and the real name because she works in a close access, so-called creative access country. And she works with one of the most resistant people group, unreached people group that no one so far was able to reach. But just because she is a nurse and just because she has like this kind of commitment to live among them, and they allowed her to live among them just for one reason, because she takes care of their newborn babies. The death rate of newborn babies in that community is so high that they tend to abandon the newborn babies for 2 or 3 months. And if the baby survives, then they accept the baby in the family. So she takes care of these newborn babies, and sometimes in her small hut, she has between 9 to 14 newborn babies that she takes care of. And we usually don't send short-termers or student missionaries to like very dangerous places or closed access countries for the safety issues. But this time she requested someone to help her, and we sent another young single lady, and two of them work there, and this is one of the most successful project. So I want to mention that it is not the religious part only that makes the project successful, such as Bible studies and baptisms, but the social part that creates the unforgettable experience and brings these short-term term missionaries back to mission field when they graduate from the university. And by the way, when we speak about the least favorite part, this is not something negative. For instance, when someone mentions that knowing that most of what we did in the clinic would not be helpful for a long term, what does it tell you? It tells you that this missionary most probably would be willing to go there and make a long-term impact. So this is not something negative. And by the way, group disunity tells you that these missionaries are learning how to communicate among themselves, because one of the biggest problems in the mission field we usually have is the relationship between the missionaries themselves. And sometimes, even if we are sending the career missionary as a family, we have to anticipate, and we tell them at the training that they may have some tensions in the family because they are under constant stress. Yeah. And when I saw the cold shower, I would say these missionaries were very lucky, because not every missionary has a shower in the mission field unless you have a river.
As educators, we want to make sure that our students have the opportunity to serve the Lord and encourage them to go on mission trips for all of the reasons that we've just heard that would be encouraging to their spiritual life. And we want to equip them with the life skills that would serve those who are in need, in hopes that they will continue in long-term.
For Andrews University, I would like to mention that this is in providing care and compassion in health clinics and providing Bible stories for children. It is personally rewarding. Also, hands-on opportunities to practice leadership, evangelism, teaching, counseling, and community engagement, and foster cultural humility, empathy, and respect for diversity. I would like to share with you a lesson of an Abino's slide video about the personal reflection of a student missionary about missionary trip. Okay, I hope it will play.
Missionary is well. I teach as well as
Can I share this video?
We can,
There, but the sound.
because the sound makes it reverb. You can swap the hall.
It's somebody else sound on.
He's gonna play it on his computer on his name, so that's the reverb. Sorry, it's okay. We're out of time.
It's okay, but
and I was in I teach as well as
You can turn your sound on. You're on Zoom.
Good point.
All right,
Just a second.
bear with us, we're over time.
Connected.
It's on Zoom, so.
Got it.
now we have to turn your sound
Okay, speakers in the room. There we go.
I'll email it to you guys. We'll text it or email it. He didn't unmute. He's muted. He didn't unmute. Oh, yes, he muted. He's muted. Okay. He's muted.
Like this.
There you go. And then you do it one more.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
So just wait a moment, Sergo. Sorry. Thank you guys for your patience. This is really good. Go ahead, Pavel.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, I'm Margaret, and I'm a student missionary in Palau. I teach sixth grade at Palau SDA Elementary School. And the highlight of my experience this past year has been getting to interact with all the different kids and being able to be a beacon of light to them, which is a thing that I always wished I had as a kid. I think God has used the kids and me in an incredible way to teach us both more about love and about how he functions and about the way that humanity is supposed to function. I think that because of these kids and the role that I was put in, I was able to grow, and I still am able to grow so much closer to Jesus every day and learn more about his character. You never learn more about who Jesus is and who God is and like understand his mind than when you're a teacher.
Would you be surprised if I say that around 70 to 80% of our career missionaries at AFM and what I've heard from other organizations too are former SMs and STMs? This is a matter of fact that most of the missionaries, they became missionaries during their first experience in the mission field. So at AFM, this is our like trend. When we send missionaries for 1 year, they come back, they graduate from the college, they get married, and then they come back and say, we feel our mission is unfinished. Send us back for 8 to 10 years. That's how missionary work survives in those places. And by the way, oftentimes when they experience not so much success, they are able to survive based on their previous experience while being short-termers. So does the number of short-termers grow? Yes, if the previous batch tells them this is a good thing to go to the mission field. So they may not impact too much at the mission field, but what impacts is their lives. And yeah, here are the references you may want to look at. And if you're interested to download and have this presentation for yourself, you're welcome to scan the QR code, and this material will be available to you.